Scott Hazelton here to take you through the week on HRTV.
So let's go bullet drill, Jeff. Now, we're going to include one extra question, but let's start things off looking back at Breeders' Cup. Juvenile winner.
Yeah.
Derby quality?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right. There's no brainer. I'll give you an easy one to start.
Okay, good.
All right. Lights at Breeders' Cup. Do I get a yay or a nay from Siegel?
I liked it. I liked it too. Looked good on this game, and prime time. Why not?
All right, one word. One word.
Okay.
Just one. I don't want a sentence. One word. Blame versus Zenyatta, the Breeders' Cup Classic race.
One word. Personally, heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Couldn't quite get her.
But all our congratulations do go to Al Stahl Jr.
No question.
And the connections of Blame.
Bernie Sams was on the phone after Breeders' Cup Classic winner Blame returned home to Claiborne Farm.
Tell us about Blame's arrival at Claiborne and what that experience was like.
Oh, it was very exciting. It was basically just the Hancock family and some of the guys on the farm, and Ms. Dill Snyder and Al Stahl and his wife, and Jane Dunn, who breaks all the horses for us, came in and was there when he got off the van.
Well, Bernie, Joanne Jones here, and if you could just explain a little bit to the viewers the process that's involved in acclimating a horse that's coming from the track, geared up, with the grain and the racetrack in them, and moving to a farm, a completely different environment. Even grazing oftentimes has to be introduced slowly. Could you explain that process a little?
Actually, with Blame, it was very easy. We turned him out yesterday about 11 o'clock, and we'll have some of the stallion men and some of the men on the farm get in the corners of his paddock and take him and walk him around the perimeter so that he kind of knows what his boundaries are. And after that, you just let him go, and really he took to it pretty well. And they turned him out again this morning, and when I left the farm about 10:30, he was standing on the hill grazing, and they'll leave him out till probably 2:30 or 3.
We caught up with two more Breeders' Cup winners this week at Calder Racecourse.
I don't know what to say about it. It was just awesome, as everybody says with Awesome Feather, but it was just everything that was good. It's still sinking in. It was just a lot of lights, a lot of attention that I'm not used to, and a lot of satisfaction winning the race, and I'm still thinking about it right now.
Are you still kind of pinching yourself knowing that not only did you win the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, but with an undefeated 2-year-old filly?
Well, it feels really good to do it that way, and it's still, like I said, sinking in, but I'm still trying to take care of business at hand, and every time you kind of wander, it's in the back of your mind, and little things still keep coming up, and it'll last for a while. It's kind of a glow.
Dave, tell us a little bit about your experience up at Churchill Downs for the Breeders' Cup.
Except for cold, it was a good experience. It was a lot of fun. They took care of us good, and it was a lot of fun walking in that winner's circle.
You broke out of the one hole. We know you didn't like that going in, but that horse just took off like a shot and never turned back. Did that surprise you at all?
We kind of, being that we're in the one hole, we kind of tried to make a little plan to get out of there in position where we could kind of get off that rail. The rail was kind of dead over the weekend, so we didn't want to be buried down on the inside. So yeah, he broke running.
Any idea what's next for him?
Maybe there's the Florida Million races. Sunshine Million. Sorry. Sunshine Million races.
Track announcer Bobby Newman was on the phone with more on the hometown heroes.
Bobby, was it like the hometown horses winning when you saw these Calder horses perform like this?
It was great. 14 Breeders' Cup races, and 2 of the 14 are horses that basically have been here at Calder their entire careers, and they were actually recognized by the bettors. I think Awesome Feather may have actually gone off favored, which was a little bit surprising in the juvenile fillies, and Big Drama was certainly one of the ones getting bet in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. He's probably a little bit more well-known going into that race than Awesome Feather because he's strutted his stuff other parts of the country, whereas Awesome Feather had been exclusively a Calder filly until the Breeders' Cup. There's actually going to be sort of a welcoming for both camps We've got Florida Million Day coming up Saturday, and I believe between races 2 and 3, we're really going to honor both Team Awesome Feather and Team Big Drama in the winner's circle. Obviously, we're not going to be able to have the horses there, but the connections, Harold Queen, David Fox, Abar Koa should all be here as far as the Big Drama camp goes. Trainer Stanley Gold, Fred Bride, the Jacks Are Better Farm Incorporated, and jockey Jeffrey Sanchez representing Awesome Feather, because really it was just a tremendous day for Calder, as it was, around the country rooting for both days for the Breeders' Cup, but the locally based runners really did more than just do Calder proud.
Saturday showcased Florida breds at Calder in the annual Florida Million.
Oligarch is the leader. Racing Aptitude now closing on the outside. Then the Waco Kid in the Best Glacier. Racing Aptitude now up to challenge Oligarch. The Waco Kid down along the inside. Racing Aptitude leads the way. Racing Aptitude gets the win. Devilish Lady pours it on now. 4, 5, 6 lengths in front. Big turn of foot by Devilish Lady. She's well clear at the 16th pole. Race for place. Beso Grande rallying up outside the Maracutana, but a big effort today from Devilish Lady, and she upsets the field in the Joe O'Farrell Juvenile Fillies. It's Pick a Pocket. Now Tannersville shoots the grab down at the inside. Bim Bam still in with a shot. Pick a Pocket. Bim Bam. These two down to the line. Pick a Pocket in front. Pick a Pocket and Bim Bam hit it together in the Bonnie Heath Turf Cup. It's Tackleberry. Tackleberry impressive in the Jack Dudley sprint, and he'll win it by 4. Montecero just under a vigorous hand ride. Now under the whip. He's 7, 8, 9 lengths in front. Montecero, a blossoming superstar here. This son of mass media, 10 clear with 70 yards to go. Rebo Bobo Motine battling for the minors. It's Montecero. Salsa Bullet has something left after those early easy fractions. Holidays at the Farm surging in the final 16th. Salsa Bullet, Holidays at the Farm, and Salsa Bullet pulled it off. Amazing running, a good one this afternoon. She's back in front by 3. Joni's Catch and Musical Romance are the main dangers, as Amazing's drifting out just a bit. Amazing in front, then Joni's Catch. Musical Romance up the inside. Joni's Catch catching Amazing. That one tight. Joni's Catch or Amazing. Too tight to call. Bird Run coming back under Rajiv Mirage, and he's back in front. It's Bird Run. Duke of Mischief couldn't get by him. Dream Maestro runs third, then King Ghidra, and Bird Run wins the Carl G. Rose Classic.
When HRTV Rewind returns,
Sports Edition will give Billy Morey his 1,000th career victory.
Well, after I heard your guys' analysis on HRTV a couple hours ago, I felt pretty confident.
Did you feel pressure?
And pressure, both, exactly.
Now Sports Edition sees daylight, comes after Mary Marino, who heads Ballet Ribbons, next River Slaney, and wider to Music Teacher. Sports Edition goes to the lead. Mary Marino relegated to second, Music Teacher running on, followed by I Swear, but Sports Edition will give Billy Morey his 1,000th career victory, defeating Mary Marino, and it's a photo for third between Music Teacher and I Swear, clear of Ballet Ribbons and River Slaney.
Trainer William Morey scored his 1,000th win Thursday at Golden Gate. Mr. Morey, congratulations on the achievement from all of us here at HRTV.
Thanks, guys.
Now, did you think going into today that Sports Edition, your only start on the card, was the one to get the job done for you?
Well, after I heard your guys' analysis on HRTV a couple hours ago, I felt pretty confident.
Did you feel pressure?
And pressure, both, exactly.
You came up through your father. You've been out on your own for roughly 10 years now here through 2010, and you've gotten your 1,000th victory. But going back prior, as a young man growing up with your father, my dad was a horse trainer, but I never really had that itch to go in that direction. When did you decide as a young man that you were going to follow in your father's footsteps?
You know, it was like late in high school, like junior, senior in high school. I started spending the summers more full-time working with Dad on the fairs and you know, fell in love with it, and that's where it all started.
Now, do you and your dad have a relationship now where you can go to each other when you have maybe a scenario that you want a little advice for?
We're kind of beyond that stage, to say the truth. Not that we're always there for each other, but I mean we've been apart now for a decade as far as business goes. We're still very tight as far as family goes, but as far as business goes, it seems like we're running against each other more than helping each other half the time. But that's just the nature of the game, you know.
Do you guys get competitive with each other when that happens?
Oh, of course we want to beat each other, you know. But family dinners are still fine, win, lose, or draw. So that's the main thing.
Jockey Robbie Alvarado also reached a milestone this week, winning his 900th race at Churchill Downs.
Top of the lane, Strike Impact, catch me if you can, cries Robbie. He's out in front by 2 lengths now. Unaccountable is giving chase in second. Motion Players in third. Tigresco, Big Al, and then Antrim County. But it is Strike Impact who is out in front, and Strike Impact is going to give Robbie Alvarado his 900th winner at Churchill Downs. Strike Impact wins. Unaccountable in second. Big Al in third. Tigresco filled out fourth. And the winning rider, 2 on the day, and his 900th winner between the Twin Spires, Robbie Alvarado, the winner of race 6, Strike Impact. Congratulations to all involved with Strike Impact, to Robbie Alvarado, and indeed our thanks to Joe for making the presentation here today at Churchill Downs.
Jamie Theriault joined Race Day America to recap his 2 Breeders' Cup victories.
Going into the Breeders' Cup, did you have any expectation that you might come away with even one Breeders' Cup victory?
Yes, I did. You know, I was on some live mounts going into Breeders' Cup. I thought I could, you know, win 1 or 2, and I mean, just winning 1 was a great opportunity, and 2 is just beyond everything.
What was this like, Jamie, to have the Breeders' Cup blanket of flowers placed over you and win a race like this, of this caliber, in front of this crowd?
It was unbelievable. I was just thrilled to death that, you know, this had just happened. I couldn't believe it happened. It was a very, very good feeling.
And the great thing is to come back the next day and not rest on your laurels and just continue on with it with Chamberlain Bridge, who was dealt, in a lot of people's minds, such a tough post position, and it seemed like that was going to be his biggest challenge, was to work out a trip. Could it gone any more perfectly for you as far as the trip that you got from that inside post?
No, it couldn't have. You know, the day they drew interest, and I wound up, you know, finding out I was in the 1 hole. From that point on, I knew what I had to do, and I had 5 days to figure out what I was going to do and how I was going to do it. And you know, in those 5 days, I was just kept telling myself, for me to win the race, I have to get out somewhere, kind of give my horse a position in a turn, and give him every chance and opportunity from the quarter pole home. And it worked out fantastic for us. I thought he was my best chance in the 3 of the Breeders' Cup races I was riding. And when I wound up winning the first one on Dubai, and I was like, man, this is great. I mean, and I still haven't, my best chance hasn't came yet.
HRTV Grandstand caught up with 2 trainers who also captured Breeders' Cup wins last weekend.
What were your thoughts going into that Ladies Classic? Were you confident that Unrivaled Belle could not only mix it up with, but potentially defeat the likes of Blind Luck, Life at 10, and Av de Gras going in?
Well, believe me, we had a lot of respect for everybody going into the race. I mean, we'd had a couple of those fillies that had already beaten us earlier in the season. However, we were second to them on days that they seemed to run their all-time best races, and our filly just kept knocking along and was consistent. And, you know, she had run what I thought was a terrific race when she beat Rachel Alexandra in the La Troyenne at Churchill Downs. And we were just hoping that one day she'd fire that same shot back, and she saved it up for the Breeders' Cup for us. So, you know, it was a great day for her. I mean, she really stepped up and made us all proud.
Well, Bill, the Breeders' Cup Ladies Classic run under lights under the Twin Spires for the first year. I know the atmosphere after being the winner of the Ladies Classic is going to be electric. But what was the atmosphere? Did you like under the lights this year at Churchill Downs?
It was fine. I think it worked out great. I mean, it was good for us. It didn't bother us. It would have been nice if it would have been about 10 degrees warmer. It was getting a little chilly up in the stands, but apart from that, it was a great evening of racing, and I hope it worked out well for the Breeders' Cup. I think Churchill Downs did a good job having everything set up with the lights, and I think everybody thought that it was a very safe situation. I think the lighting is great, and I don't think there were really any drawbacks to it.
You have to level with us. Did you really think you had a shot to take down the likes of Midday with shared account going into last Friday's Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Turf?
Yeah, I mean, I felt pretty comfortable that I fitted with the American horses. I really wasn't sure that she was up to handling the European horses, but I genuinely felt like we belonged in the race, stacking up against the American horses.
Graham, she ran very well against Proviso, so I don't think that she was outclassed at all. It was just a matter of getting the kind of trip that you got, and she was very brave in her victory.
Yeah, I mean, Edgar and I really talked a lot about it, and we felt that absolutely she had to get covered up. And if you notice, kind of going into the first turn, he just had to really take a hold of her because it got a little tight, and it might have been the best thing that happened. And then she just had a great trip. I mean, I can't say enough about the ride Edgar gave her. I think it made all the difference in the end.
So during the course of the stretch drive, when you saw Midday come to shared account, were you confident inside that what seemed like a very long, from the 16th pole home, that shared account was going to be able to hold off and take down the defending champ?
No way. I mean, I was watching on the apron, so I was watching on the television in the infield, so it was a little bit hard to get a handle on where we were at. I could tell when we turned for home that we were in with a shot, and then I thought we crossed the wire in front, and then I started doubting myself because you just don't expect to win those kind of races, and it was some thrill, I tell you.
This week's Claiborne Stakes Showcase was the Grade 3 Commonwealth Turf from Churchill Downs.
To the inside, Stormy Lord. These two hook up down the lane. Churallure is back in third. Mystic is in fourth. Guy's Reward to the outside, followed by Thunder Brew. Down towards the final furlong now. It's a battle of the greys. Yankee Fortune out in front to Churallure, who is closing with every stride in second. Guy's Reward on the outside. Yankee Fortune is out in front. Yankee Fortune is going to win the Commonwealth Turf. Unbeaten, 5 out of 5 on turf.
Yesterday we chatted with you about the Commonwealth Stakes and how kind of wide open it was. I mean, Yankee Fortune really the horse to beat, but it looks so wide open, and we're getting a look at the stretch run of the Commonwealth now.
Well, I mean, I'm a believer in this horse now. I was just a tepid believer before this race. I just thought the turf course here would maybe hurt his running style, but he showed a new dimension, being able to lay out the pace, a very strong field. Right here, I thought, wow, he's going to get pressured, and they're going to run right by him. And this is what he does. He just finds another gear, digs back in. This was a really impressive performance for this horse. So, yes, I'm a believer now. You only have to hit me in the head a few times.
Coming up on HRTV Rewind.
Super spectacular! Oh, brother!
Super spectacular, doing his big sister proud.
Ready for the start, and they're off. A shadow right there, waiting for some running room now as they make their way toward the top of the stretch. They're off the turn, into the stretch. Tamwell digs down, into the breach goes a shadow, and a shadow comes away with the lead. Stormclad Flying is in behind horses, coming down to the finish. A shadow in front and trying to hold on, and at the wire, it is a shadow.
Shadow's an easy mare to talk about. She's got such a great personality. She really has a soft side for humans, and that personality comes out. Very friendly mare, likes to come up and to see you and be around you, enjoys the attention, and she's a real camera ham too, loves her picture taken, and she's been a fantastic mother as well. She treats her babies really nice, and just an overall very kind mare. I think the racing career speaks for itself. Obviously a very, very tough race mare. But then to come back and be such a good mother and have the personality that she has, it shows that she was obviously very well taken care of through her whole career, and she truly shows that, and she brings that back to all of us. She's just such a friendly mare. But her personality has really stayed consistent, and that's what I guess I really appreciate about her the most, is that she came in with such a great attitude.
And at the wire, it is a shadow who wins by almost 2 lengths.
A Shadow's half-brother, La Barou, made his sister proud this week at Aqueduct.
Top of the stretch. La Barou and 5 Sigma event.
Still head-to-head for the lead with the furlong to go here. Break Up the Game is running them down from the outside. On the far outside, Kangaroo and Heat Shield down to the finish. La Barou narrowly. Break Up the Game. Too close to call. Break Up the Game and La Barou. It was a head bob on nose up and down on the line.
Super Spectacular, half-brother to Zenyatta, was also in the Aqueduct winner's circle this week.
Coming to the last furlong, Lemon Cream Pie the leader. Super Spectacular on the outside. In between horses, it's Center Divider. Center Divider taking the lead. A late run's coming from Carson Hall. On the far outside, Carson Hall a late threat. So too Super Spectacular. Super Spectacular. Oh, brother.
Bouncing around in post-parade thinking he'd spent all his energy. He's a runner. Super Spectacular. Doing his big sister proud.
Aqueduct's week was also highlighted by 4 stakes, including the Long Island Handicap.
Bretton Woods comes through on the inside. Bretton Woods is now the leader. We need VLTs and Raffy's Rose. Mother Russia off the board. General Maximus is giving way. Good card coming on, but they're down to the line and driven by success. Gets the job done, running hard every step of the way. Ultimate Class desperately trying to hang in there. Unbridled Humor coming hard. Profiteroles is there on the outside. Here's the wire. At the end, it was a photo finish. Unbridled Humor may have nailed Ultimate Class in the last stride. In the final furlong, Mekong Melody, with a burst of energy, takes charge from the inside. Mekong Melody finishing full of run here beneath Alex Solis to score decisively.
Elliot Walden was on the phone with a look at WinStar's newest stallion.
Super Saver, you know, the recent addition to the stallion roster at WinStar. What have you set his stud fee at for 2011?
We set his stud fee at $20,000, and we felt like that's very fair entry point for breeders. And we'll give them a chance to share in the folklore of the Derby and his pedigree. He's a tremendous prospect with a brilliant pedigree. He was a great 2-year-old. Was Steve Haskins, #1 pick on his Derby dozen when he turned first of the year, and actually ran just 1/5 slower than Uncle O did on the same racetrack at Churchill Downs as a 2-year-old. So we were pretty excited about that as well.
Well, Keeneland is hosting a horses in training sale, and on Tuesday, that's what they're selling, the horses in training. Tell us about some of the horses that you have in that sale.
Well, we have a great bunch of horses this year. We typically do it every year, Joanne, and this year we have about twice as many as we usually do. We kept more yearlings last year due to the downturn in the economy, so we have 42 horses in the sale on Tuesday. 12 of them have won since the catalog was printed.
Nice.
8 of them are 2-year-old winners. So we have a lot of good prospects in there, and somebody looking for a horse for Oaklawn or the Fairgrounds or Gulfstream or Santa Anita coming this winter should be there.
That's all for HRTV Rewind this week. Here's what's coming up next week.